Do you want to be an agent, a broker, an exec, maybe a trainer? Let's find out how to find your groove in real estate with Sasha Farmer, Sue Yanniconi, and Alice Daly.
So here we have three amazing women within the real estate world. And when I was speaking to them, it was really cool just because of the fact that they all have very unique things that they do within real estate. So a question that always gets asked to me, and I'm sure to you guys as well, what about when the market slows down, it turns? What other jobs essentially are there within real estate? And we have three women here that we've got coaching and training. We have obviously the agent. We have more of a corporate sense. So we're going to talk about this. How did you first get started in real estate? And what are, let's say, three actionable items that you can tell everyone as to how you got to where you are?
Well, I am a religious studies major from the University of Virginia, so I had no marketable skills in my life coming out of college. And I am in a really small town. We have about 1,200 agents, and my city population is around 45,000 people. So if you do the math, it's not, one agent per every 150 people, including children and students. So getting into real estate seems like a real obvious thing to do in 2007 in the recession. I dove right in, no marketable skills, nothing to lose. And for me, it was really just seeing that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to start a business. I didn't know a lot about real estate. I didn't know a lot about anything business related coming out of college. And I figured I'm going to dive in. This is a path of least resistance. And I got rolling. And now I run a 5-person team. And that was kind of my vision. I knew that I couldn't do it all on my own. I couldn't wear all the hats, and I just needed to hire and grow to really provide really first-class customer service. So not a ton of directly actionable things, but I dove in the market. I took a lot of classes. I had 2 or 3 years where I never even sold a house because I had no clue what I was doing. So I got really well educated. I learned the tools. I learned how businesses ran versus like running a hobby. And I decided, I'm just going to go after it, and we're going to do it better than the rest of our competition.
That's the best way to do it.
Well, Christian education major, so, hey.
Okay.
So my husband and I, we relocated from Chicago to Baltimore where we are now, and my whole goal was, hey, we're gonna work in the family business, make life easier. I worked for my parents for 3 weeks, and I thought, oh my gosh, this stinks. So I kind of fell into real estate, which I think a lot of people do. I thought, well, I'm just going to do this for ourselves. And then I saw, wow, this is really a scalable business. I mean, you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you see the cash flow quadrant, you see, wow, this is a real scalable business. So actionable items, I would say number one, go get a coach. If you don't have a coach, you don't have a business. If Peyton Manning, Cam Newton, they need coaches, I need one too. So it was the first thing I did. I got a coach before I even affiliated with a brokerage, and I still have one today, and I have multiple coaches now. We set aside money to invest in a business. First year, $30,000. That was seed money to go back into the business. So, no matter where you are, start putting money away to be able to invest back in. We found people that we wanted to model. We found, for us, husband and wife teams that were doing things the way that we wanted to do it, that also had kids, because we wanted a larger family. We've got 4 kids, so we found people that were doing it that way. And success leaves clues. So we just found those people and those tools, and we just modeled after those.
Okay, so I have a very different story. I had always had a passion for real estate. I think it's because I grew up, my family moved me around everywhere, 5 different states before 5th grade. So I had an innate sort of interest in the business. Had a degree in finance with a concentration in real estate, so sort of knew I was heading into that path. I got into commercial real estate for a couple years. Pretty rapidly realized that I didn't have the passion that you really need every day to go out on the sales front. It wasn't sort of that fire in the belly, but I did love the business. And so I ended up going a different path and going to the corporate side of the business. And I would say what I did there is learned everything I could about the business, everything I could about the industry, about my customers, about who we were serving, what our mission was within that space. Found some really, really strong mentors that allowed me to really explore that. The corporate industry is a little bit different. You have to acknowledge that you do have bosses, right? You're not an entrepreneur. You are answering to things and to people. And so I found those that would really support me, give me the tools to succeed, and help show me the path to get where I am today.
So real estate has no safety net. We're all in this business, we're all in sales, and sales, unfortunately, does not have a safety net if things go bad with the economy. So do you think it's important that we have multiple roles within our career?
You know, I think it's been really helpful to me. I run my 5-person team. I'm also the vice president of a 120-person real estate company in Central Virginia. And then I also speak and coach nationally to different agents. And for me, it's been really helpful going into a really, really bad market. I didn't have a whole lot of other choices. I had to diversify. But I've really enjoyed it, mostly because it just exposes me to so many more people in the real estate industry that I would never have met. And it exposes me to a skill set and to information and to knowledge that I never would have seen. So the traveling and the coaching and the mentoring and recruiting my own agents, even though I'm giving back a lot of time, it has really benefited me and grown me as a professional and as a real estate agent in my town.
I don't think I buy into the myth that, that there's no safety net. I think anything that's built well, you're gonna be fine if you really build a business. Now, if you're out there just selling a house here, selling a house there, and you're playing around with it, sure, you're playing with fire, and that's crazy. So build something with that is stable, that has legs to it, and you'll be just fine.
I think that's a great point. I think it's important that, you know, people always ask me, well, what about when the market turns? How are you going to make that money? It's like, well, you know, when you're a great real estate agent or business person in general, you know how to adjust your model and figure out how to make that money continuously. It might not be the same amount of money, but you'll still make money.
There's room for a professional in any market.
Right, right. Sue, I have a question for you. So,
Sure.
You know, when we chatted on the phone, we talked about you have more of the corporate role within real estate. You know, do you still have that 9 to 5 because you're in that corporate role, or how does that work?
No. So we, we were laughing backstage. It's always 9 to 5 somewhere, right? So, you know, I travel a lot. I used to do about 150,000 miles a year traveling, and so your nights and your weekends are where you're doing a lot of your work. Also, you know, we service our customers, our real estate brokers and real estate agents, and that business is constantly going on. It's, you know, 7 days a week. So we always have to be available to make sure that our business is running to support our broker's business and our agent's business. And so it's really not, you know, I do find that, you know, I was saying I'm one of those 2 phone people, right? So I do try and step away sometimes for family and whatnot. But yeah, it's not 9 to 5.
You know, when you're doing multiple roles, I mean, you said you're coaching, you're speaking, you're obviously an agent, you have your business. How are you still engaging with people and still, you know, people ask me all the time, well, you're in New York, so how about managing your clients? And then you're speaking, what if someone calls you? And so how do you handle that?
For me, I've built a brand and I've built a business. So people call, they hear the Sasha Farber team, and that's why they're calling us. But they don't necessarily know that the Sasha Farber team is good because of Sasha Farber. They're calling for our system, for our process. It's seamless. We have smooth closings. There's never a surprise. We take care of things. We negotiate the best deals. Our houses, deals never fall apart. I mean, that's what they're calling for. Whether I'm part of that or not, I don't think matters to a lot of people. I think what we have to do, all of us, is get out of our own way. We all have these great big egos that feel like, oh, they just want to talk to us. They can't, nobody else can help them the way I can help them. Well, think about, what if someone like Steve Jobs felt that way? What if Steve Jobs, he might be the best at what he does, and we're all clients of his, but what a disservice it would be to this whole room if Steve Jobs felt that he was the only person that could do that job well and didn't pass it along. So my team, it's a business, it's a system. I don't need to be involved. I do have touch points so they hear from me throughout the process, but that's all I'm doing. I'm calling them and making sure they feel good about what's going on.
Right. Sasha, we were speaking and I had a panic attack when you told me you don't work weekends. How?
Yeah. So I think Alice and
Alice as well, both of them. I'm like, wait, excuse, is my phone working? What did you mean you don't work weekends?
I mean,
how does that happen?
I think we both have a really high value on quality of life. And for me, you know, I look at my income, and my coaches, I talk about numbers. I don't think there's enough transparency in this business. If I'm going to make $350,000, you know, it's my 7th or 8th year in business. A number is a number. If I'm going to make $350, my dollar per hour, divide that by 2080, 2080. That's how many hours you work in a year if you work every week, 40 hours a week. My hourly value is in the, you know, $175, $200 range. If anything can be done by someone else for less than that, I hire someone else to do it for less than that. So I leverage my time. If someone can do it 80% as well, or for the less than 80% of the cost of my time, someone else is going to do it. So I don't work weekends, I don't work nights, I delegate it out, and my clients understand that they cannot get me 24 hours a day. And I've never, to my knowledge, lost a client as a result of that.
Alice, are you a business owner or are you a salesperson, and what's the difference? Because I think that's a question that people always ask. It's like, well, am I working with you, or are you a business owner, or what's, kind of explain that to us.
I think that real estate agents, I think one of the biggest disservices we've done to ourselves is not really take it seriously as a business. If you look at the cash flow quadrant, you can be a salesperson, and the best way to tell if you're a business owner is if you were to leave for a month, would your business still produce money? If the answer is no, you still have a sales job. You work for yourself, but you have a job. I'm also going to throw in there, if you have an email address that belongs to your company, like kw.com, Long & Foster, whatever, you're showing that you're not really a business owner. Own your name, own it, put it in your email address, put it everywhere, but because it is your business. So if we had an unfortunate situation where our daughter got really sick last year. I was out for 3 months. It wasn't the ideal situation, but the business kept going. So you need to find ways, and really that's leadership. So my two favorite definitions of leadership are leadership is influence, and leadership is teaching people how to think so that they can get what they want when they want it. So it's about developing leaders. People say that they want you, and I think it is ego. I think it also is some insecurity on our part. But they want me, they want me. No, they don't. They want what you represent. They want their house sold.
The experience.
Right.
That's what they want. So how do we get to a place where they can trust your system? When we go see the doctor, I might get the key doctor once. I get the nurse practitioner 99% of the time, but I know that she spends more time with me. She's nicer. She's going to get me the answers, and if she doesn't know it, she's got the bat phone to call the person that knows. So as long as that happens, people are fine with it. They just want their result.
Guys, I'm with very, very, very successful women here. As a final thought, what does the future look like for each of you? You're all growing very, very quickly. We'll start with Sue. What does your future look like?
I have a long road ahead of me, I'm sure, and I'm really excited about the future of our industry. I'm really excited about seeing where it's going. I think it's a time to embrace the change and embrace different methods to achieving what we do, focusing on what we're really good at and leveraging resources where we're not. And I really look forward to exploring that and bringing it to the next generation in this industry and helping others grow up in the business and be very successful.
I'm sure all of you will be very, very successful. I was amazed when we got on that call. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing what you do to everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you.